Hey guys, this is Ted. Just gonna go ahead and get started with episode 2 here. So, a quick check-in. My weight was 246.8 this morning, and as far as exercise goes, I was still sore from chest day. So I didn't do any sort of actual working out with the weight bench or the dumbbells. But as far as exercise goes, 10 miles walking in the day. Very, very beautiful out. Lots of sun, barely any clouds. So, the sun beating down on you all day definitely does numbers on your mental health, I'd say. If if there's one thing I had to say that absolutely made me happy and content, would be just getting to be out in the sun. As far as some things I got done, today I went through some old documents in regards to the previous relationship I had mentioned in the first video, and I went ahead and deleted some of the things to try and, kind of rip the band-aid off a little bit more. It's mostly gone, but I guess some residual bits still left, and that's okay. I don't plan on tossing everything out to begin with, but there are things that I definitely don't need at all, that will only cause pain looking back at, and I would really like to get rid of the things that will absolutely cause unneeded stress and pain and stuff like that, because until I get to a point where I'm able to look past it completely, I think that's the direction to go in. I also took care of my budget for the rest of the year. I inadvertently signed up for a credit card with the tire place that I got all the new tires for my car on, and it's going to end up being a good thing. I get some really nice offers having the card, and I'm good with cards anyways. I don't mind doing that. I usually pay them off immediately, but this one I'm going to stagger out a little bit, so I figured out paying that off. That was about $700. I also worked on the budget in general for the rest of the year to find out where I'll be savings wise, and what kind of wiggle room I have on buying things that I feel like I need or want, which there's a few things that I want to change, furniture in my room, stuff like that, to keep things looking a little more clean. So, I'll probably talk about that in the future if I ever show my room, stuff like that. Some other thoughts that I had on today. I worked with my therapist. Pretty much, we determined that my homework for the next week next 2 weeks, July 4th holiday coming up, so I'm not going to be seeing her this Friday. My homework is going to be how, if something impacts my self-esteem or confidence negatively, I am to take a step back for a second, breathe, process it, and look at my immediate reaction, but then also work on then turning the hit against me into positive energy. However I can manage, that's fine. I just need to do that. So that's going to be something big. I don't think I'm going to be talking about that at all today, but I'm just kind of going through my little script here. And I also met a new squirrel buddy in the park, and I named him Taco. I assume it's a boy. If I didn't get too much of a look, but I'll toss up a picture of him somewhere in the video, or in the actual video I took some footage of him as well, depending on how long the voiceover ends up being, and patching together everything here. But for today, I did want to bring up a specific topic. This one was brought up to me from a friend, that how I genuinely speak negatively or very dismissively about myself or how things are, and how he feels this is affecting my outlook on life and my progress in general. And I'd have to agree. He's been giving me a lot of shit anytime I say anything that's not following a very healthy or happy outlook, which is fine. That's probably a good thing, and I appreciate it very much. I think learning to take someone's crap, and even in this case, I know you're going to be listening to it, Nate, taking something like that and using it properly is the right way to go. Absolutely. So two of the things I wrote down, I'll start with the first one, obviously. Lots of I guess, probably, I suppose, etc., instead of being outwardly excited or showing anticipation for, as an example, a new day on the horizon that I could spend doing things I like, or thinking about, tomorrow will be good. If someone would say, "You'll have a good day tomorrow," I'll say, "Probably," instead of agreeing and doing my best to make the day as good as possible. The second thing, when speaking about how I look physically, I downplay my progress, because I haven't both reached and stayed at around my end goal. I'll unpack that one first, actually, even though it was the second on the list. So, realistically, from the last episode, I had mentioned that I used to weigh a lot. I was 392 pounds when I first started trying to lose weight, because I was very much afraid of dying an early death. And that kicked me into being healthy and, learning to be more alive, being outside, enjoying nature, and staying active. Over the course of a year, from the day that I started losing weight, I had reached about 240 pounds, so I was about 152 off. And then after that was the first time I went into the dating scene. Before, I had absolutely no self-esteem, did not feel good about myself, the way I looked. I feel like that is understandable, considering how obese I was. But having finally gotten to a generally normal size, I would say, for your average American, I felt more ready and open to doing things like that. So that's what I started doing. Over the course of the next year or two after that, after having hit that 240-ish, I still continued to lose weight. There were a few bumps that I hit along the way, as far as things with other relationships, stuff happening between me and friends and life in general, that really kind of made me being healthy take the back seat. That has continued to be a thing for me, because if I tend to get lost in something or someone that isn't directly related to my weight loss, I very easily lose the path that I try and stay on. But continuing with what I was saying, I had definitely continued very scarcely, until ultimately I came to a point another year or two down the line where I was absolutely fed up with myself, because there were weight fluctuations. I hit almost 330 pounds again, and the feeling of seeing myself fall back into that was probably one of the top 10 anime betrayals of things I've done to myself in my life. So I worked on it. I fueled myself with the hate for how I looked and what I did to lose weight, and I did it very unhealthily. I was dehydrating myself, going on very long, strenuous hikes and not having a sip of water at all, not eating during said hikes, so I was running on little to no energy. And I just wasn't taking care of myself, and I just wanted to see that number, that end goal, met. I hit 193 pounds, which was 199 pounds off of my starting weight. So I was 1 pound away from the big 200 off. And then things kind of broke for me. And I very much believe that I deserve to have fallen back and lost all the progress because it wasn't done in a way that would have been healthy for me to keep up with. And realistically, I don't think I deserved it at the time, as much as I wanted to see the number and wanted it for myself. Because I was treating myself so bad, I absolutely didn't deserve to have that kind of that sort of happiness, to put it plainly. So, as I mentioned, right now I'm 246.8. Weight loss is coming easy again. I'm just trying to make sure that I don't eat too much and I'm staying active. But regardless of me still being about 150 pounds off from where I started, I have a very hard time trying to accept any sort of compliments. Like if a friend tells me I look good, or if I'm engaging with a new person for the potential of dating, I never really speak good about myself. And if someone says something good about me, I deflect. I'll try to turn it into something that I can give them instead, because I genuinely don't feel like I deserve having the praise, again, because I haven't reached and stayed around my goal. Saying all that out loud, I definitely see that there's some value in, instead of having just that end goal, I really need to look at every baby step I've taken, and be at peace with any possible steps backwards in my journey, because sometimes, or maybe not even steps backwards, but just steps off the path, in giving myself a break, having a cheat day once in a while, or at least a cheat meal, or just something that I genuinely enjoy and I can work that food off later in the day, or something like that. So I need to absolutely make efforts on thinking about how I speak about myself before I say anything to people. And a lot of that, to me, would, in the back of my head, part of me is saying, well, that's why people say fake it till you make it, fake your confidence, fake your whatever, until it is reality. And I think that's something that I'd like to look into more and elaborate on in a later episode, because having that sort of approach, I think, is a little, I don't know if it's wrong or anything like that, but I guess if I take it at face value, or the fake it till you make it thing, it would be more of a not really even believing that I've made any progress. So I'm not going to try and use that sort of a template for my thoughts for this weight loss thing in specific, but for other things in the future, it's very likely that I will try to adopt some form of it in a way to rewire my brain. When it comes to the weight loss, I need, like I said before, I need to realize that I have done a lot over many years to work to get myself in a healthier place, both mentally, physically, everything. And I totally need to appreciate all of the work that I've done, because I don't. And that's not good. I always try and show my appreciation for people when I see them doing good things for themselves, but we're our own worst critic, and I guess kind of mind blown happening right now, just realizing that I absolutely don't. I don't really give myself any sort of appreciation ever. So, all right, that's something I'm going to be working on. Maybe I'll touch on the topic again in the future. Moving towards the first part of this, I guess, I suppose, in the context of where it came out of, it was more or less a, I believe it was a mention of, tomorrow will be a better day, or something along the lines of that, because I was stressed and tired and everything. So that's what Nate had said, and I replied with my standard "I suppose," which is pretty defeatist when I sit and think about it. And I don't want to appear that way. I don't want to be that way. I do genuinely want to, even if things are dark or aren't feeling good, I want to go ahead and really try to be up and ready to just, exist, do good for myself, do better, and he's right. My word choices absolutely put me down this path of, because I'm afraid of the future, since I don't know what it has in store, I am dismissive about it. And instead of saying that I'm going to take it by the horns, there's no other way to put it. Instead of doing that, I just act like I'll just go with the flow, which isn't a bad thing. But if I want to do better for myself, I need to do it. And I need to take the initiative and, in any given chance, be more of an optimist. I should always look for, if I am looking at the future, when I'm right now, I'm generally trying to stay in the present. If I'm looking forward to the next day or looking at the next day, I should try and say that, yes, I'm going to make the best of it. Yes, I'm going to do what I can and help myself grow tomorrow and the day after and the day after and the day after. Instead of, a good example is today it's going to be raining. It's Saturday now. This is technically my episode for Friday. I just didn't get to record this. But so today, Saturday, is going to be raining. And a lot of the time, because that inhibits my, or I don't know if that's the right word, but it stops me from being able to go out and walk and enjoy the sun and everything, because there's clouds, the sun's not out as much as it would be on a clear day. So I want to take today to get some other things done and still have still be happy with it. There are errands that I need to run, and I want to look at those as steps towards accomplishing what I need to for the day, and doing something good. So I'll get my errands out of the way. There's some things around the house that I could definitely tend to that would be good for me to do, because if I'm going to be inside, then why not? If I have a chance, maybe meet up with someone, say hello, just keep active, do something, and let that something that I do be a catalyst for my day to be better, feel better. I don't want to just lose a day because I couldn't go walking or something like that. And I would if I had a treadmill, if I don't have the room in the house. So that's a no-go, but that's fine. So that's where we're at. Those are my thoughts. I didn't write a huge script because I wanted to just kind of keep it free form. I'd like to do that as much as possible, unless I really feel like there's a lot of specifics I need to dig into. So again, for today's recap, or Friday's recap, this is coming out on Saturday, I am at 246.8 pounds. There was 10 miles of walking today in the beautiful weather. I took care of getting rid of some documents from the past that are going to help me rip the rest of the Band-Aid off from that relationship. I worked on my budget. That's great. So now I have that off my mind, that I have a good solid path for the rest of the year on saving money and stuff like that. My therapy yesterday went well. Met the new squirrel buddy. If things go well, I might have a lot of pictures and videos of that. And we talked about how the way I speak in negative or dismissive terms absolutely affects my outlook on life. And we're going to be changing that. So that's going to be it for today. And I will be back with something again soon. Thanks, guys.